What's up, fellow paint huffers, White Derp the Not So Hurt, and today we're going to be looking at M81, which is probably my most requested in Facebook groups tutorial on spray paint, because normally if I show off my 12.5 for whatever reason, you know, took it out for a range day, or somebody wants to look at M81 guns or, you know, 12.5s or something like that, and I show it off, that's what people want to know how to do. So this is my 12.5. Sons of Liberty upper, one of the new PWS ambi lowers, Night Force NX8 1-8 mod light OKW with a mod button and a Sandman S. So you can see everything's painted there except for the suppressor. The suppressor moves around on different guns, and each one of the guns that it goes on is a different color, so there's no real use in painting it anyway. I'd rather just get a suppressor cover for it, something that'll actually benefit me more than just spray painting it and making it look cool and it burning off after the first range trip I go with it anyway. So today we're gonna be painting something I normally don't paint, but my buddy got it to help combat ammo prices, and it's kind of a starter gun for one of his sons to help him get used to shooting handguns, because we have him shooting ARs every now and then, but he's still a little younger. So before throwing him into a 9mm, it's a Glock 44. So the Glock 44 is just a 19 Gen 5 clone and 22 long rifle. So nothing fancy done to it. It has a mag well on it that I took off. It's not gonna be painted. He's gonna be swapping out the mag wells. We're gonna do some 3D printed extended base plates, because the factory mags don't work very well with the mag well. But 1000 lumen X300, and I'll go ahead and spray paint it. So I got a lot of it taped off, like the barrel, the extractor, the trigger, mainly because it's a 22 long rifle. 22 long rifle, pretty much no matter what it is, unless it's like a single shot or a bolt action, is not reliable to begin with. This one is pretty good. You know, we put about 400 or 500 rounds the first time we took it out. Me, him, his son, and another buddy. I got a bucket of 22 long rifle, and we just went had fun loading mags and shooting it and all that. But so yeah, I don't want to get a whole bunch of spray paint on a bunch of the critical parts and make it even more unreliable, because if you shot 22 enough, you know it's not all that reliable to begin with. Anything from ammo related issues to sometimes guns are finicky. You need a little bit more oomph behind the bullet to cycle slides if it's semi-auto and all that. So we'll go ahead and put it up. We're gonna start with our base color. I'm gonna go through all the colors that I'm gonna use, and we're gonna get to painting. Alright guys, so we got it hanging up. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the colors that I'll be using. So I'll be using Rust-Oleum Camouflage Black, Rust-Oleum Earth Brown, which I think I should have enough to do something like this. My secret sauce Magpul OD Green match, and I'm gonna be using a new color today. This one's from Custom Paint USA. This is what you get from Red Leg if you buy a spray paint from them, and this is called Black Ops. Now, just a warning before you do get this: these are extremely temperamental. I have 2 cans of this. I actually have 3 cans of this brand in general, and I have 4 tips for them, and only 1 tip out of all of them is good. I had them soaking in lacquer thinner. I put lacquer thinner down the tube that inside the can, let that sit in there, brush them out, nylon brush, wire brush, and I can only get 1 tip to work out of it. So we're gonna go ahead and use the Black Ops. I want to use it this time because, looking at it, this is your Rust-Oleum khaki right here, which is what I normally use, and this is going to be the Black Ops. And if you see, that's a lot closer match. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's a little bit closer. I just want to try it this time, see how it does. I think it'll look a little bit better, but like on the 12.5, the 12.5 is Rust-Oleum khaki, Rust-Oleum brown, Rust-Oleum black, and then my secret sauce OD green. So I've used Rust-Oleum before. It works fine. It's just if you want to get a little bit closer, that's That's a pretty good match right there. So we're gonna go ahead. The first color that we're gonna use is black. Reason I'm going black, yes, this is black as is, but this is gonna give us, you don't have to do this. If you wanna just go ahead and you got an all black gun, just go ahead and you can go ahead and start placing your stencils for the black. But I like doing it because it gives it a consistent color all across the board. So go ahead and just give it a pretty decent coat. And this is a brand new can, so and I'm not gonna go too heavy, especially what I'm doing with this to keep as much out of the inside of the gun, because the Glock does have a little bit of gap and you can see some internals. I'm kind of coming at an angle here, and the frame sticks out more than the slide. So this is gonna keep as much paint from going inside the slide and me having to go in later on and try to clean all that out. So that's why I'm going at an angle right here. We'll go ahead and flip it around. First coat's gonna be done. I'm gonna be doing 1 or 2, make sure it's completely even. And we're gonna place our stencils and go on to the next color. Alright guys, so got the first layer of stencils done. Might not be able to see them all that great because one, the power went out, so I had to open the door, get a little bit of backlighting in here. And 2, I already went ahead and put a light spray along the edges of them for any part that might be peeling up, kind of give it something to stick to. And that way we don't get a whole bunch of bleed through. So go through and double check your stencils, make sure everything's sitting as flat as you can possibly get it. With painter's tape, it's not exactly going to sit all that flat, which is another reason that I'm going to be going to Cerakote type stencils with vinyl. So after you got those laid out, you can go ahead, and next is going to be your tan, whatever color you use. For me, it's going to be the Black Ops from Red Leg. For you, it's going to be whatever tan you decide to use. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this nozzle real quick. Starting to get clogged up a little bit. Right. Then I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to go too heavy with it. Just a light coat. I don't know if y'all be able to see that, but it's not looking all that great. So I'm gonna go ahead, but this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna put on your tan. I'm gonna go ahead and clean out this nozzle again with lacquer thinner. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do my coat, and then we're gonna go on, put the next set of stencils, and go on from there. Alright, so before I get too far ahead, I'm gonna show you all the stencils that I use. So all I do is pull up a picture of M81, and I draw out the stencils of each color. So this is black. When you look at M81, typically black is going to be the smallest stencils out of the bunch, and then when you move up to tan's going to be bigger. So it might not look like it, but a lot of these stencils here will fit inside of these stencils, and that's going to help out when you layer them out. Now I don't have the brown drawn yet, but the brown is the biggest stencils that you're going to use. They're going to take up the most room out of everything. Now we don't use green stencils, because once we put everything on and finish with the brown, everything that's left over is just going to be painted over green, and the green's got to take up all that empty space that the stencils didn't go through. So that's the stencils there, minus the brown. So we went ahead, sprayed our tan, got our stencils put on. I just want to make sure that our preference is be 100% sure the paint is dry before you put stencils on, and most importantly before you go ahead and spray the next color. Because I have a Troy battle mag somewhere that I spray painted years ago when I was learning about spray painting and playing around with it and all that. But even if it's still tacky, if you go ahead and spray one color, it's still tacky, and then come back and spray another color, what'll happen is you'll go ahead and create cracks in it. So in the sense of that battle mag, I did a green, and then I put FDE over it, so when it would wear, it'd be, when the FDE would wear down, it would be green underneath. Well, the green was still wet. I sprayed the FDE on it, and you can see like cracks in it, and you can see the green in the cracks through the FDE. So make sure you're 100% certain that your paint is dry before you go on to the next step. This has been drying for, I don't know, 2 hours or so, hour and a half, something like that. So go on to that next color. Next color should be brown. I'll make sure your can spraying good. We'll do the same thing as always, just a pretty light coat on it. Go ahead and flip around. And that's gonna be good enough for me now. I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry. And when we come back, I got the brown stencils drawn out and cut. And once I get this second coat on there, get that dried, I'm gonna go ahead and place the brown. And we'll go ahead and do the green and finish it up. So the brown dried, got our last set of stencils on there. This is gonna be our stencils for our brown. We're gonna spray one more color and then we're gonna be done. Wait for that to dry, pull the stencils off, and see how it is. So, like all the other ones, you want to make sure all the edges of your stencils are sitting flat as possible. We don't get no bleed through, best you can. Some of these hard corners, like on the other side of the X300 here around the paddle, it's going to be a little difficult, but I think we'll go get it. So, go ahead with our last color here. This is going to be our green. Green is a little hard to see against the brown, but I've used enough of this to where I know how much I can and can't spray to get it to cover like I want. It's a nice even coat with this paint. Like I said, I've been using it for a while, so I know I can go a little bit heavier on my coats than I normally do with other paints. But I still do a few coats on it instead of just trying to just do one. I want to just do one and be done. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let that dry. Same thing. Once that's dry, put another coat on it, have two. And we can pull off the stencils and see how it looks. Alright guys, so final color is done. Stencils are pulled off, and this is what we're left with. And I really like that that red leg tan in there. Gives it a more, looks more M81. I just wish M81 came in a more darker Magpul type OD green like I do with this. This is why I personally prefer my version of M81. But yeah, so that's it right there. I gotta say, that is my most requested. When guys see a picture of my stuff, they want to see how I do M81. So there it be. It's not too complicated. It's just making sure your colors are dry before putting on stencils, and definitely before going on to the next color. You have to absolutely be certain that they are dry before moving on to the next step. If not, you're just gonna ruin it, and you could be mad, and then you're gonna redo it. And then, especially if you hand cut stencils, there's a whole lot of time wasted. Or even if you do make your own stencils, it's still time wasted. If you buy stencils, that's money wasted. So make sure all your colors are dry before throwing on stencils and spraying the next color. So appreciate it guys. If you're on Facebook, go check out That's Cool. And I spray painting. I got a lot of my stuff in there. Normally when I mess with something new, either a new pattern or whatever, I'll throw it up on there. So like I said, go check out your spray paint job. Go check out some spray paint jobs. Go show off your spray paint jobs. I appreciate all the views. Let me know what y'all want to see. Like I have some more military type camos coming up. Now that I got the Cricut machine, I'll be able to really be able to get some different type of stencils out there. So thank y'all. Appreciate it. See y'all next time.